I'm a fan of the Star we are.
What's up, everybody? I'm Super Cowboy.
And I'm Princess Angie, and you are tuned in to The Star We Are.
Hi, this is Jane Slater, and you are listening to The Star We Are.
Plugged in and switched on. This is The Star We Are live.
Hello.
Yo.
Happy Victory Tuesday. I know it's supposed to be Victory Monday, but we deserve Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for that victory we had last week. So
let's go
this week, whatever you count Sunday. Anyways, happy Tuesday. We're happy to have you guys here. As always, thank you for joining us. I am Slammin' Sammy.
I am Landrys Legend.
I'm your man Jimmy J's here.
And we are The Star We Are.
Are you?
Oh, all right. Man, look, we got a really good show. I'm pumped today. We got a heck of a lineup. It's packed. We're going to get into, of course, like Samantha said, this crazy win versus Washington, the crazy last 4 minutes, the absolute debacle of the not so special teams on both sides of the ball and everything that happened. We'll talk all about it. We'll have to grade it. Of course, we're going to get into it. The Star We Are updates, while we're here, we'll go ahead and give them. Not too much on the horizon. Obviously, Thanksgiving week coming up. Wait,
Yum.
Jimmy lied to you guys. We got an exciting announcement, actually. Very, very excited to announce a very special guest coming back to the show, Miss Jane Slater. So that'll be tomorrow. Tomorrow at 4:45 exactly. She's busy. She's on a specific schedule. 4:45 Central Standard Time. We'll put out a post about it. We'll let all you guys know. Make sure you drop in and check that out. Jane Slater will be stopping by to talk about Turkey Week, talk about this win versus Washington, maybe a little look forward to New York, and we're going to play a little Q&A Blitz. And just in case you guys don't know what Q&A Blitz is, we're going to rapid fire some questions at Miss Jane Slater, and see how she can handle it. And I believe we've got a little stinger here for you.
Jimmy J's the mic. Jimmy J's the mic.
Who said? Sammy 0-0.
Q&A Blitz.
I love that so much.
So we're going to rapid fire some questions at her. That ought to be fun. Sammy is going to maybe not be with us tomorrow. She'll be on the road. So everybody wish her some traveling grace, prayers, however you handle that situation. And so that's basically it for the updates. And, you know, like I said, after this week, we'll be back next Tuesday. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We've got Mike in the house saying howdy. What is up, my guy? And then, of course, you know, I've got to get the news because this is where I get them. And so we'll have some Sammy Says It All. And then my favorite segment. My man Landry gonna give us some legend and some long shot, and I'm dying to see who it is this week. And then I'll give you 2 jewels, only 2. That's all I've got. I've only got 2 of them, but I will let you know what they are. And then we'll have a halftime. Just like our sport, we got to take a little break. We got to get some refreshments. Maybe we got to have a little team chat. Maybe somebody wasn't performing well or saying naughty words in the first half. So after the first 4 possessions of the show, we'll take a little halftime. We'll remind everybody to fan responsibly. We have to remind Landry too, because sometimes he goes a little AWOL on us. So we'll get that done, and then we'll take a look at the star stat of the week. Any premonitions, Sam? Any guesses? What do you think it is?
God, I feel like there's a couple of unexpected ones that I was going for. Josh Butler stood out, as everybody in Cowboys Nation noticed, and we can't forget our boy Wanye and our boy Turpentine. So those are my 3 guesses.
Wanye with the touchdown. That was surprising to see. And, you know, in that clip, and I believe we posted it on Twitter, Wanye keeps up with Kevontae Turpin on that kick return for about 30 yards worth of field, and he's running side by side with him. And then, of course, Kevontae burns everybody, but Wanye with a little bit of speed there. And then moving right along, we'll have a star score. We'll grade the game, of course. And then who knows, maybe they get a high grade this week. Maybe we look at Washington and see, oh, maybe they're not so real as everybody thought they are. Maybe, who knows? Who knows how this game gets graded? And then we'll get into our next segment, Read Action, where we're going to take a look at some PFF grades and react to them. we got to look at our team coming up into this week against Washington, what everybody was playing like, what everybody's ranked according to PFF. We know it's the Bible to some people out there. So we're going to take a look at their grades and we're going to see how it went. And then, of course, looking forward to Turkey Day, Act 12. Little New York Giants, little G-Men. We got to go. They're coming to AT&T, right? We were on the road last time.
No, always on Thanksgiving. Always going to be at home.
And in the best jerseys we wear all year. Just pointing that out. Boom.
One can hope. The one you're wearing right now, right? That's what you're looking for?
Yeah. Oh, these are my favorites. If I could have every jersey in this jersey, that's all I would wear. Love them. Except for the other alternates, but that's for another day. Anyway.
Right. Well, we got to get right into it. Sammy, I know you've got some good news for us, some good tidbits. Please, on the injury updates, try to make them positive this week if you can.
I think I did just that. I feel like I ended on a positive note. So it's something small but huge. So anyways, sorry, my glasses are a little dirtier than I thought. So let's get back to business here. Okay, so first things first, I'm sure everybody in their family have heard about this. Jerry Jones is back at it. First it was Dion, maybe Jason Witten, and possibly Kellen Moore, but now it might be Mike McCarthy. According to him, telling 105.3 The Fan, he said that it wasn't crazy to consider a contract extension for Mike McCarthy, saying that he is a Super Bowl winning coach, and that he has plenty of great ideas, and there's a lot of football to be played and to continue on with. So we'll see what happens there. Knowing him, hopefully, fingers crossed, it was just talk, keeping Jerry in the drama like he has for the past 30 years. And maybe he'll actually hit us with a surprise after the season's over. After that, I had a little more on there about 3 12-win seasons, but we deserve better than that, so I'm not even going to read it. Anyways, last week, Washington was ranked 8 overall, thanks to us. I mean, it wasn't much of a drop, but they dropped down to rank 10 after our win over them. Now, we, on the other hand, were ranked 31, but we have jumped up to rank 24. Now, I feel like that's not necessarily bragging rights, but for considering the way our season has gone, 24 is great. It's finally good to be out of the 30s. Woo!
Whose rankings were those? Is that ESPN's power rankings?
The power rankings, yes. I
believe the power rankings from ESPN. Okay.
Yeah.
I was just wondering.
But now that we're 24, I made a little joke. Don't hate me. I said we are above the Dolphins and other bad teams. Haha, just kidding. Anyways, gotta love all the teams even if you don't love them yourself. Anyways, so this is something that kind of opened my eyes a little bit when I was reading about. Now, since we have started that losing streak, we have been saying one thing and well, I guess two things. Play Trey Lance and tank. But let's hear it from the perspective of an NFL player. After quit, there was an interview with Wanye and a couple other players, which I'll have to pull up my phone for that one. Kind of opened your eyes a little bit about what you want to happen. I mean, I know as fans, we want things a little differently. We would just want the success. But Wanye said that, we think that they as players, that is, that's their career. That is literally their life. They have trained their whole life for this. They have made it this far. And why would we want them to tank? I mean, he said, and I quote, they are fighting for their lives, saying that, what if this is the last season they ever get to play football? They don't want to go down as a tanking team. They don't want to go down playing bad football to get a better draft pick for the next year. That's not fair to everybody who bust their butts and, as I said, train their whole entire life to be here. So props to them for kind of opening my eyes a little bit and realizing that it's not fair to them for us to wish that on them. You know what I mean?
No, for sure. And a lot of people are team tank, and it's hard to look at. That's great that you bring that perspective, Sam, from the players and that Wanye quote, because it is. They don't know which game is their last, and how dare it be my last season and I'm on a team where we're trying to actively lose, because you play the sport to win. So we totally get it. And I think a lot of the tankers out there, the team tankers, it's more importantly, they would just, if we've got no shot to make the playoffs, they're almost thinking the counteractive way. The player's sitting there thinking, what if I get hurt and I don't get to play any more football? When the fans thinking that exact same thing. This season counts for nothing. What if you get hurt and can't play any more football?
Right.
So it kind of goes both ways. But it's, obviously no NFL player is ever going to tell you, I'm actively trying to lose. But do some veterans maybe on a losing team go, man, why am I out here trying to risk my all when maybe I'll take it back a little bit, not kill my body this season. I've got next year to look forward to. That does happen once you end up kind of mathematically out of it, as they say. So, but great perspective you brought from Wanye there. It's really good to
right.
those things.
And I feel like, I agree with what you're saying, but I still feel like they'd want to give it their all, because even if we get rid of them, another team can take them if they're playing their best, and fingers crossed we never get injured. But it's cool to hear it coming from Wanye. He did come into the Cowboys as an undrafted free agent, spend a whole season on the practice squad just fighting for the spot that he has now. Started just strictly on special teams, and look at the saving grace he's been a couple times. I'm happy that we gave Wanye the chance he deserves and that he's part of us now. You asked for the injury report, Jimmy. You got it. Whether it's all good or bad, I like the freelance in here. Anyway, I can't give you that. Well, I can't. I will give you that, but you know what I mean. So Tyler Smith, these are it's just a list. I'm just gonna read it quick, read it straight to the point. Tyler Smith is questionable. I didn't write his injury down. I don't know why, I'm a dummy. Trayvon Diggs is having issues with his calf. Jake Ferguson still remains in I cannot do this today. Concussion protocol. Cooper Rush. Holy cow. When I read that, I was like, no freaking way. I guess he's having a little bit of knee problems. He was limited yesterday. I was trying to fight for updates for today, but I usually get my news a little too early for the updates for today's practice. So this is all based off of Monday. CeeDee Lamb was limited at practice Monday with a back and a foot injury. Nick Vigil did not participate. Eric Kendricks with a groin shoulder did not participate. Neeland, Bland, they were both questionable. Zach Martin is considered a very long shot to play versus the Giants. And then Richards, I don't want to butcher his name because I always say Asim, but that's not right, suffered a high ankle sprain. So that's not looking very positive. But a player we have missed all season who happened to go out against the Giants is probably going to come back versus the Giants. Stephen Jones said it is very, very, very likely that we will get to see the wonderful, beautiful Brandon Cooks on the field again this week. So that gives another positive to look forward to. Yes, wow. And that is the positive note I am ending on, because why not end on a happy note like that?
Wonderful. One by one, you were starting to rebuild.
Sorry, we got an extra guest.
That's all right. Extra guests are good. We like the guests. As you can see, we'll roll the banner here too. If you would like to be a guest on the TheStarWeAre, like little man there, then just make sure you reach out to us on TheStarWeAre1@gmail.com or any of our socials. You can DM us. You could definitely be a guest on the show. If you've got a perspective, if you've got a take, if you've got an idea or a thought, or you just want to argue with Landry about all his crazy takes, feel free. Hit us up. All right. So speaking of Landry, we'll get rid of him here for a second because we've got to get ready for my favorite segment of the week, Landry's Legends and Longshts. Last week, who did we have? Mr. What was it? Jared Goff, I believe it was the legend of the season so far, and then the long shot. it was the Cowboys winning another game. Do you remember that, Sam?
Yeah,
Long shot was a
yeah.
Cowboy. What a long shot it was. We were only days removed from it actually happening. So
Hey, Landry, once again saying something and kind of speaking it into existence. The opposite this time. Good thing.
remember, we even said that because we were like, he spoke the Micah Parsons injury into existence. Cowboys Nation, don't let him tell you he didn't. He's like, oh no, Mike is always healthy all the time. 2 seconds later, he's down on the field. He spoke so many things into existence, like Sam said. And then when he says, well, we're probably not going to get another win this season, it was a long shot, we win the very next game. So Landry, if you could just say, if your long shot this week is we're never making the playoffs again and we're not ever going to win another Super Bowl, especially the next 3 in a row, we'd appreciate that, buddy. But I'm ready to get into it and see what this is all about. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Landry's Legends and Longshots.
No, not quite. Not quite going to be that. But this is Landry's Legends and Longshots for week 12 of the 2024 NFL season. We'll kick it right off with the legend. Sam tried to call it last week. He was close. I said you had to do a little bit more, but a 100-yard kickoff return, 99. A 99-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. That'll get you your first Dallas Cowboy as a legend for this season. Devontae Turpin, definitely on his headed to his next Pro Bowl. Hit another top speed in the area of 21.5 miles an hour. Now I guess we can just call him out as the fastest guy in the NFL. Finally we get a Dallas Cowboy as a legend of the week. Now the long shot of the week, and this is a tough one on him, but it's going to be Mr. Daniel Jones. But for the New York Giants, they gave him 2 more chances, I think, than I expected, and an entire contract extra. Danny Dimes, as the rest of the NFL pundits like to call him, my long shot is whether he can land a starting job next season. I've got, someone's going to pick him up, and he'll go battle probably for a starting position. I wish I had it right in front of me. 24 and 56 as a starter. I think Daniel Jones is not good enough. He had every chance in the world. Top draft pick. Sorry about you. But that's it. That's Landry's Legends and Longshots for week 12.
Way to go. Yeah.
So you said Daniel Jones is just that's just so sad and crazy to see. It's insane. I'll get off this overlay so I won't hide my misery, my pain that I'm feeling for Daniel Jones right now, because that's tough, man. You get paid 1 year, you get benched the next, you get immediately moved to third string, and then you're out there playing safety call, or what. There's a few teams call them different things: a safety call out, as safety spy, a few different things, and so. And now he doesn't have a job. So long shot, being does Daniel Jones have a job next year? That's not bad, Coach. Good one. I can.
Hey, have a job. I just don't think he can get a start. I don't think there's a starting job out there for him.
Starting job.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
He'll be in the NFL still.
Yeah. Okay, so just real quick before we move on, and I give everybody 2 of Jimmy Shules. What team does he land on? Just everybody real quick, and we can come back and look at this.
And I was going to say one more thing about it, because certainly it's not something I'm hoping for, and maybe he'll have the kind of luck y'all were just talking about. If I was going to bring up again, you guys said it as I was coming in. Cowboys won't win they're a long shot to win another game. Now, considering what had to be done, and we're fixing to get to that to win another game, maybe it still was a long shot. Anyways, what team does he land on? Maybe the Las Vegas Raiders.
That's a good one.
That is a good one. Sam, what do you think? Where do you think Daniel Jones lands?
Well, dang, Landry just hit the freaking jackpot with that one.
Yeah,
well, I was gonna say the Jacksonville Jaguars, but I don't know who their backup is, so that's probably not a good one. But Raiders is a really good one. I can't beat that. He got me.
Yeah, no. Jaguars isn't horrible, because I don't know if they'll have a shot at Shador, Cam Ward, or how they plan on getting off of Trevor. I would have to say maybe just right there in New York, don't even leave. Right? Just go to the Jets because it's Aaron Rodgers last year. They'll have a contingency plan for when Rodgers leaves. They're definitely going to try to win some more games. They're not going to be at the top of the draft. So maybe just stay. Maybe New York gives him a call. So it logistically makes sense for him. He's already there. And they say, hey, we can't give you a lot, but just
Yeah, assuming Aaron's out the door.
yeah. Well, it's his last year. They're not going to do very good. I don't see them winning any playoff games the way they look. So Aaron's probably not getting re-signed. That's another
Poor
one to talk
Devontae
about.
Adams.
Does Aaron Rodgers land on a team next year and with who?
No, he should retire. I mean, I
That
know
may
it's
happen.
very unrealistic, but he's not happy. I feel like he's not happy in the league at all anymore. Like nothing fits his needs besides going to a straight winning team and expecting everybody to do his work for him. If that's too far, tell me, but that's kind of the vibes I'm getting.
No, you're right on it. All right. What you eating today?
Pho. I was really late
Pho
eating.
pho? Fee-fi?
It's called pho, but I always call it pho, and that's incorrect. So I had to correct myself. So good. Absolute favorite thing in the whole wide world. I could eat it every day.
I hear about it a lot. I hear about it a lot. I've never tried it.
Can't have it without some hoisin sauce.
Okay, perfect.
You have to try it, by the way. It's super good.
So pho is a food jewel that I need to try out.
Yes.
Right now we've got to get into Jimmy's jewels.
I can't wait to hear what they are.
You know, it's an elite group. There's only 2 of them. So let's hear him. I got to get him. Where's that intro music?
There we go.
Now let's get that intro music.
Look, last week he said that he loved my jewels. This week he calls them elite. I can't be thankful enough for the way Landry talks about my jewels every week. You guys, if somebody could go out there and clip all those for me, put them together, we're going to make a reel of Landry just bragging on Jimmy's jewels. I digress. My jewels this week. You know, I had to look around. I had to look around the league because it's been Cowboys, and I was like, maybe do I switch it up because I don't always want my jewels to be Cowboys. And I'm lying. I always want my jewels to be Cowboys. One of them is going to be Mr. Josh Butler. Look, the kid come out of nowhere and had a phenomenal game. Sammy told you earlier in the news she thought it was going to be the star of the week. Stick around to see if it actually is. What did he have? A couple pass breakups, a sack, a tackle for loss, 10 total tackles. He was all over the field. You've seen him. Usually when a DB, when you see him on TV a lot, it's because he got burnt. You saw Josh Butler on TV a lot, and it wasn't because he got burnt. Shout out to the kid. He played absolutely phenomenal. Jewel number 2, my guy, STGA, Wanye Thomas. Why, Jimmy? I wish I had the media to show you, and maybe we'll take a look at it in a little bit. Lightning wheels. 30 yards, kept up with Devontae Turpin on a 99-yard touchdown return, and jumped out in front to get the lead block to seal the deal. The spin move and the Wanye Thomas block sealed the deal. Wanye Thomas had the touchdown on the special teams debacle, again on the not-so-special teams performance by everybody out there. We'll go over that here in a little bit. But Wanye Thomas with the touchdown, highlighting, the season he's been having. Like Sammy said, undrafted, sits on the practice squad. Now he's a role player and an important one. I hope we don't ever lose him. I hope he's a Cowboy for life. Those are my jewels of the week. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
I absolutely love both of those. I feel like my head was in the right place. Maybe not star stud of the week, but we know ball. I'm just kidding. But they were phenomenal. They deserve to be the jewels of the week. I love it, love it, love it.
They do. They do. Now, if they could go bring home a few of these, it'd be even better.
Also, speaking of Josh Butler, real quick, y'all should go listen to his music. It was one of his happy birthday presents. Happy belated to Josh Butler. He wants all of his music to hit, I believe, 1 million or 10 million. Either way, reach for the stars. Go give that boy a listen.
So, real quick. Happy birthday, Josh Butler. We had other birthdays. It was Zach Martin's birthday recently. Did we have a couple other birthdays in Cowboys Nation recently? Anyway, shout out to the belated birthdays. Shout out to Josh Butler for sure. Zach Martin for sure.
Cooper Rush had one.
Rush had a birthday. You're right, Coach. Yeah. So happy birthday to all you guys out there. All right, we'll get to some comments here. We've got Falcon jumping in and say Giants, Panthers, potentially Commanders, Eagles late in the season if they have nothing to play for. Yeah, those could be wins. Wazam, bro. What's up, Nola? Back in the house. Always glad to have you with us. Dallas going to win 2 or 3 more games. Yeah, I know. Landry said long shot. We'll see if they even win one. They beat Washington. They're probably going to beat New York on Thanksgiving. We got Carolina coming up. I think we can handle Philly on the road. So you guys might be on to it. Rude, Samantha. Eating the pho in front of everybody. On mute so we don't hear the... It makes it even worse. Rub it in.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't think you'd want to hear me slurping in the background and you're talking.
Is this true, Sam? Are you not feeling well, Samantha? Is that what's going on? Oh, you're on mute. Yeah, she's her. It's
Dang,
her
I
voice.
pulled a you guys. Oh my gosh, what is going on? Anyways, so funny story. When I was pregnant, I drank a lot of chicken broth, but then one day I couldn't do it, and I went and bought pho broth by itself. Miracles on morning sickness. In case there's any women in here that listen, it was phenomenal. Made my addiction even better. So yes, works very well.
There you go. You never know what kind of fun facts you're going to hear on the StarWeAre Live. Falcon, everybody, Nola, Red, Micah, thank you all for being here with us. We're going to get into a little halftime here in just a second. We'll get these last couple of Butler stories heartwarming when we look into that. Cowboys Nation, if you don't know about it, if he continues to play like that, he's going to become a household name pretty soon, and he will have a job somewhere next season. Hopefully we can retain him. And yes, Wanye, hope they keep him around for a long, long time. So we'll get right into a little bit of halftime here, where we have to remind everybody that you have to fan responsibly. You got to do it.
Always.
You can fan irresponsibly by maybe getting too intoxicated, maybe calling someone's deceased mother a name at a football game because your team's losing. Like, these are things that we don't do, Cowboys Nation. We fan responsibly. How do we do that? You start by liking, subscribing. Oh, did the mic bust on you a little bit?
It sounded a little crazy for a second.
See, well, I just had to show them that's irresponsible.
Good point.
A responsible way to fan is to make sure your mic's not bursting in your listeners' ears. Make sure you hit the like button, the subscribe button, turn on your notifications. Go check out all our shorts, all our TikToks. We posted a couple today. They're pretty cool. We may have to bring one up and show you guys here toward the end of the show if we can get that media in. It'd be fun. But thank you all for spending your time with us. Your time is invaluable, so if you've ever spent any of it with us, we cannot thank you enough. Fan responsibly, guys. This is TheStarWeAre. Support what we do. Make sure you like us, holler at us. We've got a Cash App and a Venmo. If you're filthy rich and you just don't have anything else to do with your money but endorse 3 crazy nuts of fans that want to give back to other fans and do something good, throw it this way. If you're not crazy rich, then hang out, watch the show, and enjoy the entertainment. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Thank you guys for being with us. So we'll get back to the rundown here because our next segment of the show is Star Stat of the Week. Sam thought it was going to be Butler. That's pretty good. We're going to have to find out who it really is. And I wish we had a drum roll on here. We're going to have to get us a drum roll on here.
Yeah, I thought I had one of those.
It's the offensive line. Landry, tell me.
Yeah, it's the reason we won the game, and we're able to finally score some points and do both things, right? We were able to both run the ball and pass the ball, allowed ourselves to have a little mix. Obviously, the defense a huge part in the first half, keeping us in a low-scoring game. Before we never really got on track. We just kind of kept with it. But one pressure allowed from that offensive line that you see on the screen, and I'll let you go ahead because that's obviously not the one you had lined up to start the season.
That's the craziest part about it is if you told me, like, if on paper, if you said, hey, this is what we're going to roll out there. Richards at left tackle, got Hoffman and Bass at your guard, BB's going to be our rookie center, and we're going to have Terrence still out there. I would have said, well, what the hell is Tyler Guyton doing? Why is Tyler Smith hurt? Because why did we put this line together? So because those reasons, right? We had to. Did we expect them to perform and have one of the best looking games our offensive line as a whole has looked all season? Did not expect that. Now, here's what happens sometimes. You play up on a team, right? And we had kind of been seeing the inklings of it. We'll talk. You know what? I'll save that. Well, let's just get into some media of this offensive line. I'll tell you a little bit more about why I think we beat this team in a little bit when we score them. But let's take a look at this. Coach has some film for us to look at of this offensive line and how dominant they were and how clean
first play
where our man Cooper Rush to operate.
Rush a quick throw. CeeDee Lamb.
Look at it here. And
Rush.
I mean, just
Jalen Tolbert.
yeah, I want to start it over already because I want to take
First play of the day.
Here. Nobody's close. Okay, but that's a quick little
Rush
route.
a quick throw.
So no problem.
CeeDee Lamb.
This pocket here. That's beautiful. Rush has so many options. He needs to step up.
Yeah, that's a clean pocket. No push from the middle. They got a double team going on there in the middle.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And if BB wants to peel off, he can come help on the right side. Cooper Rush can move around. Obviously, he's already wound up ready to throw the ball. But yeah, this is good to see. We'll continue here.
Rush. Jalen Tolbert can pull it in. First down from the 42. Rush looking up top. Lets it fly into traffic, but there's Lamb. Now his first season in Washington. His rise has continued. Rush under pressure. Hits Lamb, who's crossing. He juggled, and that cost him any chance to get hard in a season like this. 14 seconds. Need about 20.
That's the other one, right? He gets all day to climb this pocket late in the second quarter there. Tied this game up before halftime, right? By getting him big catch down there from Brooks.
Yeah, I think this is the back shoulder to Brooks.
Over the top.
Yeah, it is, and you can count it there. Good call out.
14 seconds.
I mean,
Need about 20
they're only rushing 4, but the pickup, he's got all day. He's got 4 more seconds. That was incredible.
So he's not able to step up there, but still the time in the red zone, you're on a lesser clock to begin with, so enough time to find him.
Into the end zone. Tolbert's got it.
100%, and that's a good point that you make. In the red zone, you're gonna have, you're never gonna have a long to pass protect. That was beautiful.
One of the easiest touchdowns we had all year.
So overall, good stuff. And while we didn't necessarily highlight the run, while we only showed you really good clean pockets there and how Cooper Rush was allowed to kind of sit back there, analyze the field, go 75% on his completion percentage, I believe it was.
Beautiful.
It was so awesome. Rico Dale also had a really good game. Thanks to this offensive line. They ran block about as well as we have all season. So well on them. Star stat of the week. One more round of applause for the XL unit. The big guys. Standing ovation for those fellas. They showed up. I hope they can continue to build some continuity and play like that. It looks like Bass and Hoffman just got themselves some contracts for next year. Playing like that, if they do it a couple more games, it's going to be real nice. We'll move right along. We've got to score this team, guys. You know we have to. What do we got here? Let's see.
Well, Sam knows she has to start, so.
I was just kind of hoping one of you guys would go first.
She's just waiting on a lead in that she knows is coming.
Yeah.
You can take a gander down at some of those beautiful highlights.
Yeah, I am about to sneeze, so if I dramatically stop talking, that is why.
Don't sneeze until I get you on full screen. Okay, go ahead.
No, I have allergies. This is not a good time. I'm gonna go. I don't want to underput it, but I don't want to overput it. A lot of people, I don't know. I'm gonna go with. Okay, I feel like I'm gonna be a little rough here, but I'm also, I don't know. I'm gonna go with a 70. Okay, and that's kind of based on where we've been compared to where we are now. As you guys said, a lot of improvement. We've had improvement defensive-wise. We've had improvement offensive-wise. Cooper Rush is getting comfortable out there, especially, all that time he had to see his reads and get the job done. I love it. The only thing I was hoping for that I didn't get, now they do deserve credit, is I was hoping for, I was wishing for, a couple picks, maybe a fumble, maybe a little more strong suit there. Now, I know that's just me being picky, wanting a little much out of them just because I know what they're capable of. Overall, I'm very impressed. I feel like 70 is a little strict. I probably should have went a little higher, but that's what I'm sticking with.
Yeah, I don't think it's too far off. I'm gonna go 75. We'll give him a C plus there, a 75. Give him the little bump based on the unit that they were still playing with, specifically the offensive line. Nothing super lacking. the mishaps on special teams you might chalk up to the other team's coaching in terms of the blocked field goal. The one just happens to doink one. In this game we missed 2 of them, but the defensive performance in the first half, especially the moxie that the team showed, right, not quitting, the things they had to pull out at the end of the game, it deserves a 75. It was certainly, I think that's the second highest score I've given them all season. It's probably the second best game they played as a whole.
That's fair. Both of y'all are fair. And Landry, if you'll help me out on my score here and get it in there for me, I just want to look over something real quick before I give this score, just to kind of preface where my score is coming from. I'm going to go over the Commanders' schedule, and I'm just going to give you their wins. Okay. They beat the Giants. They beat the Bengals. They beat the Cardinals. They beat the Browns. They beat the Panthers. They beat the Bears. They beat the Giants again. That's it. Who've they beat? I don't even know if they're real or not. So I can't score my team immaculately high. Like I said, can I score the offensive line well? Yeah, they got star of the week. Can I score my team overall for beating what I think is a barely above 500 team based on schedule? I don't know how I can give them. I think, honestly, you guys really kind of nailed it because I was right around 70. You're at 75. I'll go 72.5. I'll put it right dead center of you guys because I think y'all are real close. But as I look, because, I had to tell myself, I don't know, our offensive line played Garrett. I don't know how formidable this Washington defensive front is. I know some of their names. You're Dorrance Armstrong. You're Dante Fowler. Some of the guys we sit over there.
Cowboys.
A hunt exactly. So I know some of their names. I don't know how well they've played this season. So as we continue to look back at this, maybe Washington ends up a 500 team or under 500, and this win against them looks just kind of like the win against the Giants.
Maybe. I think it's more likely they're going to end up a playoff team that's a lot like us, right? That won 10 or 11, that won 11 games on their schedule, like we were last year, right? And a one and done team. Mm-hmm.
No, that's fair. The remainder of their schedule is, Titans, Saints, Eagles, Falcons, and then us again. So can they win 3 of those last 5? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Their schedule is going to allow them to be a wild card team. Are they real, though? Can they win a playoff game? That's yet to be seen. But there's our score for the week comment section. If you'd like to give us our team a score for this week, go ahead and feel free to drop it as we move on into the next segment here. What do you think they did? Do you think it was an above average showing with the W? If we just look at what did Landry, we went over it. It was 2 missed field goals and a missed extra point.
That was
for them.
For them. I was gonna say for
2 missed field goals and a missed extra point for Washington. 2 missed field goals for the Dallas Cowboys and a 99-yard kickoff return for a touchdown.
Didn't we have a kick blocked too?
And a punt.
One of the 2 misses was blocked. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And a punt blocked, and then they missed an extra point to tie it. They basically missed an extra point to lose the game. And then right after that, Wanye scores on an onside kick. The special teams, it was crazy. It was absolutely nuts. I'd never seen anything like it. All the different stats and plays on special teams that happened in that game. Absolutely wild. Go back and watch the highlights. It's fun. We'll get right into the next segment here. We're going to play a little game we like to call Read Action.
There comes a time in every person's life where a moment arises and you must use instinct to prove yourself. And that is what you call Read Action.
You guys were laughing last time. That was the first time I saw that video.
I love it.
I need to get a little bit of music in that stinger, but I do love it. That video is classic. It will go down in infamy forever. That man turned on his Messi, his Ronaldo, whatever you want to call it. He put it on and went all out. So, everybody, what we're looking at here, this is PFF grades. Some people's football Bible. Some people live by this thing. They usually grade pretty well, right? They got a lot of analytics, a lot of statistics, a lot of computing power that goes behind this. So it's a a site we like to look at every now and then to see how people are doing. So what we're fixing to do is we're going to grade this team through week 11 coming into this Washington game. This isn't counting the Washington game. So if anybody played up and maybe their numbers have changed since then, but this was coming into Washington. Samantha, I'm going to tell you what these numbers mean, and then you tell me what you see here. So your
Okay.
colored numbers are your grade on a scale of 0 to 100, like a class, like a test. You can score your highest is 100, your lowest is 0. So those are the colored numbers. The numbers right next to it are going to be your rank out of how many people are ranked at your position. Do you see anything good here, Coach? Sam?
I see one passing grade for the skill unit, and it's barely CD Lamb with a 74.4. And I'm sure you're going to, point out, you told me before off screen that the 32nd out of 93 to you just means that he's barely a number one wide receiver in terms of grade. There
That
are
makes me
there are
sick.
31 receivers in the league that grade higher than him. And that's the only passing grade.
Well, it's like this. There's 32 teams. Everybody's got a number one. If you're ranked 32, are you going to tell me there's some number twos ranked higher? Because then I'm going to be even more upset.
Kevontae Turpin's score doesn't look that great now. That's his wide receiver score. If there was a special team score for kick return, he'd probably be number one. And punt return, he'd probably be 3. So there's that. But in terms of offensive output, well, there you go. There's it all correlates. We're not scoring points. You got low grades.
I kind of hate to say, I don't know. I don't give Zeke the credit that I don't. First of all, I don't think he's done that hot this season. He's done a couple positive plays, but for him and Rico's score to be as close as it is kind of hurts me. Like, I feel like Rico's been balling on a level of Cowboys football. He could probably do better, if the O-line was as promising as it has been this last game, but to have him at a 69 and Zeke at a 61, I feel like that's just.
And for me, PFF is saying he's been serviceable at best. And I have to run with that. That's what I'm saying. Looking at this, you can clean the whole running back room out next year. There's not a running back on the roster that we need. There's not a receiver that we have to keep outside of CD Lamb. That's what this is telling me. Now, we don't have Cooper Rush on here. I didn't get to that one. Probably should. He's got a couple game sample. I wish I had that up here, but the Prescott one is what's most important. It's what got us to this point. It's what we're going with forward next season. And same thing, him, right?
What'd you say? You cut out for a second.
Same thing as CD Lamb, right? With his, 30 just hanging around the bottom of serviceable to okay.
Can I just say I agree with Papa BB right now? PFF sucks. Like, I do not like looking at these numbers. It is making my food not taste very good right now.
but Tom, it's some people's Bible. You can't say that. No, no. Yeah, PFF is, like I said, some people live by them. So here's what's interesting. The running back room. Sam, and I got to do this for you. You know whose PFF has rated 80?
Hey, and let's go ahead and get to the next one. While Papa BB's in here, let's get the offensive line up there. I know that my thing is when I go back and look at when I look at a grade after a game, I'm not too shocked usually about what I say. I don't know. I wish I knew that. I guess the algorithm, so to speak.
Oh, the old Al Gore rhythm. It's something. So here's your offensive line. Papa, you can tell Mr. BB, you can tell us if you think these numbers suck. I think they're pretty accurate. And so we'll start right in the center of the line, right? We'll start with Tom's boy Cooper BB here. And listen, 62. I don't know. Like I said, PFF's grade is nobody on our offensive line has a 70 except for Tyler Smith. And I honestly think Tyler Smith has been more like a 90. So I would have almost everybody on this offensive line a little higher as far as their grade. But as far as the pure rank goes, and being the 30th best center out of 59 qualified centers, that means you're right with all the best centers in the league, and you're a rookie. So that's for me.
That's a good one. I see. Yeah,
100%. That's good. And if you really look at it film wise and the way he picks up blocks and moves around, it's a little higher than that. When you go to the tackle, though, go ahead, Coach.
Oh, and I think that it was actually, and I want to say that I saw this post the Washington game, and it looks something like 16 or 18.
Woo!
Right. Because we don't have the post-Washington game numbers yet. This is all going into week 12. This was through week 11 going into week 12. Falcons says be a dog for us. Yeah, he already is, and he will. So looking at the tackles, this is where we really get into the problem, right? We knew Guyton was going to not be ranked way up there because, similar to BB, they come in as rookies. BB's holding his own. Guyton, not so much. Now, there's been some injuries. Obviously, he hasn't been 100%. So I can't really. But what I'll just ask Sam, what stands out to you the most just looking at the offensive unit? Like, what are you seeing there?
Nothing good. I don't know. I feel like I'm just kind of stuck. I feel like it's kind of crazy that Terrence Steele is rated really high. Or I mean, not really high, but 59 out of 128. But I don't.
It's in the middle, and that's what it feels. It doesn't feel like we've had good to above average right guard play, right tackle play. It feels like we've had, something in the middle. So I mean, has Tyler Guyton been good?
No, and
that's what I mean. Like I'm like I said, they're not perfect in terms of down to the decimal. But they feel representative of what we've seen.
Right.
Cooper Beebe feels like he has been our second best offensive lineman. Is that what that basically boils down to? I mean, positionally, I guess it's close with Terrence Steele.
Which is crazy. I do, and I'm hoping, once again, being the softy I am, giving Tyler Guyton the benefit of the doubt with the lack of experience, lack of playing, that by next year these will increase a lot and his penalties will die down.
The time thing is 100% a deal. People have drafted first round tackles who have had poor first seasons like this, and by year 3 they're about to make a Pro Bowl. Year 3 or 4. But I'm with you. We need it next year, at least a rapid, evolution next year.
Right.
So
what's your input, Coach Jimmy? You're the one. You're not saying so much down here.
Yeah, no, I think it's fair, right? And I can't attribute it to. Obviously, we've been injured riddle on both sides of the ball. I don't think McCarthy and Dak were cooking the same way. I don't know if it's due to injury. We've seen a lot of Dak and Lamb not being on the same page like they were last year. You got to remember, Dak was runner-up MVP last year, and I understand he went down a couple weeks ago, but he went down in week 8 or 9, even up to week 9 last season. He was in MVP form. We were lighting people up. So to see our offense kind of look like this. Everybody said, "Oh, we knew we were going to struggle with some rookie offensive linemen." We didn't know everybody's grade was going to be down like this. And like Papa BB said, PFF kind of sucks, but they've got enough data to where they're not going to be super far off. Obviously, when you look at guys like, and we got to remember on the tackles, the 128 qualified. That's for both left and right.
Oh, right.
To see Guyton at 92 and Terrence still at 59, that's tough for me. That destroys an offense. I could care less about the 3 in the middle. Your 2 tackles have got to be playing premier football for your offense to be anything. So if you want to, if I have to credit the overall,
I have to jump in.
Struggle.
And again, I have to jump in real quick. And again, I kind of defended PFF here with Zach Martin. Has this been Zach Martin's worst season to the eye test? Because the number says it has been, and you mentioned before we came in here, you're used to seeing a 1 or 2 or 3 over there. So the first season when you saw that drop off with Zach Martin, for it to be so significant, that's another tough one to swallow. Again, I don't
heartbreaking.
I don't have a lot of argument here.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
it's like a punch to the gut.
Their grades aren't fair. I believe Zach Martin has played better than a 65. Like if the scale is 0 to 100 on a test, didn't score 65. Cooper Beebe didn't score 62. Tyler Smith has scored a 90. He's been playing good, I think. Tyler Smith has been playing really good. So, the individual games don't match the grades given out by the coach staff directionally. I don't care about the score. They don't even have the right guys graded fairly. No, that's fair. That's what I mean. That's what we're talking about here on the scale of 0 to 100. These grades mean that you failed miserably. Jake Ferguson has a 57. You didn't even study.
And as far as that goes, this is based on things that we have access to. I would love to see the coaching staff grades.
Yeah, no joke. So again, this is PFF. This is kind of what a lot of people go by. We'll bring up the defense here. Some of them. We'll get into our DB room. And again, this is where Kalen Carson, the walking seatbelt, aka walking seatbelt on Twitter and X, a 39.7.
That feels like one of those ridiculous grades. It's just not possible.
Tell me how. Tell me how on a scale of 0 to 100, the kid has scored a 39. You ain't missed that many questions, Kalen. Trust me.
At 198 out of 210, that he's virtually the worst corner who's played X amount of snaps. Yeah, it's hard for me to buy that. The physical attributes and I don't know.
One score that I do see on here that I actually think is close, and I love the guy. Since he's been on our team, Dono has been one of my favorite players. You know that, Coach.
People hate on him so much.
Missed tackles
this year.
Right. And it's been basically missed tackles, and I'm not sure what it is. I don't know. I don't think it's just directly. It's hard to attribute that just on a guy like, oh, he's not tackling as well. I don't know if it's a mentality thing. I don't know if he's not been 100% all year and they just haven't listed him on injury reports, but his tackling hasn't really been there. And I can say that for the whole team, but Dono in particular.
Yeah. And Trayvon.
Yeah. And Coach was kind of saying too, when you get to these corners and you're talking about 190 pounds and you've got 220, 225 running backs coming at them, those tackles are tough. Those tackles get hard to make. But that's a game of football. It is what it is. So we'll bring up the rest of it here. And if anybody
overshown,
Falcon's not the biggest Carson fan.
Falcon doesn't totally disagree with it.
See, I feel like Carson, as I've said a bunch of times, he's almost like,
but now he
just can't finish through, and
right,
that's where he's getting burnt.
But again, he's a rookie with that super failing grade out there that I definitely still need to see more from. But I'm telling you, there's a lot of people I could do.
Chauncey,
I could do without. Or I could do with some competition.
Now,
Mazi Smith, guys. I mean, again, Mazi Smith, not one of the worst defensive tackles that you're seeing playing. I hear what Papa BB's saying, but this is it's like if I gave my own scores, the people who have the passing scores would be, they might seem low overall, but that's around where I'd have the passing grades.
No, that's fair.
That some of them are a little too low, specifically if you're grading it out game by game and you're looking at rookies. I think some of these rookies would get a bump. I'd have BB with a passing grade. What else do I see out there that?
What about overshown?
DeMarvion overshown. DeMarvion overshown is another one that stands out. That one feels wrong.
Crooked. Yeah.
And that's where you get into, like Papa was saying, the individual games, and it's also the individual grades too. DeMarvion overshown has been really, really good in the run. So I bet his grade against the run is probably in the 80s, and his grading.
And he's in the top. He's in the top 20. That's true in the run against the run.
Yeah, and his grade in coverage may be down in the 50s, and so they got him overall graded out at 62. But when you look at his totality of play, it's higher than that.
And what you just said jogged my memory about something about seeing BB 16. That was his pass cover. That's his pass blocking 16.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's where you get the huge discrepancy in the overall grade of 62. He's not, I'm telling you right now, out of 163 qualified linebackers, DeMarvion overshown is probably in the top 53, not 93. Eric Kendricks, I would honestly say add 10 to every single score and I would feel more comfortable.
Right.
Add just a 10 to 12 to every single score, except for maybe the running back room. And Samantha, I'll backdoor you, and I'll say it with you. You said it earlier, and you were polite to him. Ezekiel Elliott hasn't been great this year. Ezekiel Elliott has been bad this year.
Yeah.
I love Zeke. Feed him as much as you want to.
Why? He's obviously too stuffed to run. Yeah.
You feed him for Thanksgiving, but feed him at the crib.
Ugh, yeah. See, I'm okay with Chauncey's score. I mean, I feel like it could be better, but he's getting it done out here. I mean, my personal thing, I feel like that's maybe I'd give him at least a 7.
And that's you'd live with that Chauncey score if he hadn't had to play so many downs for you. because again, there's supposed to be a Lawrence and a Nealon that we didn't give scores even because they barely have, playing time out there. So it's like, yeah, if Chauncey was a rotational piece with a 68, be a different story, but he's had to start and people next to you suffer. Gosh, there's a ton of reasons, but again, as I look at it as a total, I'd expect to see that given our record and what the eye test tells me. So we got a few minutes left though. We gotta run down this next week before we get to it tomorrow.
Yeah,
We
don't
do,
depress me.
And Steve brought us right into the segue. All due respect to DQ, but we're facing a better defense Thursday than we are in Washington, and we will get to Thursday's game. That's what we're about to look forward to. Falcon says, "Get us Graham from Michigan." It's not biased, trust me. Okay, yeah, we'll believe that. We'll believe that. So we've got to get into Act 12. We're going on the road. No, they're coming on. They're going on the road.
Oh man,
They're
that
coming
makes
to
me
AT&T.
nervous.
They're going to be up in here. The New York Giants. Let's get on the right side of this thing. Where are we at? There we are.
Real quick before we go all the way, Falcon, just put up. Please don't draft a running back in round 1. You're not interested.
That a curse?
Well, it's just you're not interested in Genty because the 10 yards of carry now is getting ridiculous. It would be if it's one thing for a couple of games. This kid's got 30 touchdowns.
What about Devin
and is
Neal?
averaging 160, 70 yards a game. It's crazy. I don't know how you can pass on it.
I feel like we missed our shot for Genty or whatever, but if you guys watch the Colorado game, Devin Neal is a freaking monster. And if I need to watch more KU, but if he played like he did in that game, he's like a James Cook against the Cowboys. Like it was rough to watch him dominate my Colorado team. But yeah.
All right, Sam, we got some highlights down there from the last time we played the Giants. And what do you think tomorrow's looking like?
Okay, so my opinion, if I just base it off of the last 2 games, I mean, even though, who did we play before Washington?
Houston.
Okay. So they're a mid team, and the improvement we showed that game was good. We improved even more last game. I feel like where we were at versus the Giants was in a tougher position than maybe we are now. We played them once. Maybe we can get a little bit of their scheme together. They don't have Daniel Jones. They're doing Tommy DeVito. I'm hoping that since this is our second time around, that it'll be a better game. I can't say how much better, but I'm definitely got my hopes up for a lot of improvement and maybe a bigger score differential by the end of it. Of course, with us winning, but I'm kind of hoping it's like our normal Giants games.
What's the score?
Oh, God, I keep wanting to say in the 30s, but I feel like I can't ask that every time. I'm going to go with a 14-point differential. I'm going to go 34-20 or 28-14, whichever you guys decide. I don't know if.
And that's with us getting the win?
Yes.
So you're going to go say something, Coach?
Yeah, I mean, I do think we're going to win the game. We're continuing to get healthier. We saw Marshawn Nealon back out there this past week. Deron Bland returned. Micah a couple weeks back and healthy. Sam said we're getting Brandon Cook back. So we're actually getting way closer back towards full strength at a time where the Giants are truly tanking. Now, listen, I was never team tank. I was team be all right if we lost these games because of the fan perspective. And that's, again, total fan perspective. From a job perspective, you absolutely hope there's zero quitters out there. And there weren't because they gave 100% effort last week. So with the continuing to get healthier, there's too many really bad teams who are only going to win 2 or 3 games. We're actually not going to end up with a top 10 pick anymore. So they're going to win some games. They're going to win this one. Let's get on a win streak, like you said, this game, Carolina, and end up somehow making the last games meaningful. I can't expect the points. I'm with Sam. I can't expect the 30 points. I'm looking at CD just floating free there down there at the bottom. Similar output from the offense. 24-10. 24-13. I'm right there with you.
Okay.
I'm right there with you. 24-13.
That's fair. Y'all were both fair. I do believe we'll get the win. Yeah, as far as the team tankers, it's tough, right? Because like you said, the fan perspective, you just want the team like, look, I just don't want anybody else hurt, and I want a good draft pick and all that. But you know, but you're wrong, Coach. You said that these teams don't go out there quitters. I was actually close enough to listen to the huddle, and I believe it was led by Rico, and he was like, guys, we're going to go out here and make sure we don't try hard. All right, listen, I want nobody to block nobody. We're going to lose this game. No, I'm just kidding. Of course they don't go out there like that, right? They want to play, they want to win. And I even said, look, if you're going to go get a couple pride wins for us, go beat Washington and Philly on the road in their house. Because I just didn't know how many wins this team had left in them. Injury riddled, quarterback goes down. We knew it was going to be tough to win ball games. I was like, if we're going to get a couple pride wins, let's go beat Washington and Philly. I would love that. Round one done. I'd like to beat Philly on the road. We're going to beat New York at home. Steve said, he flew down for the Texans game. Not our best showing. Hopefully anybody who flies down from New York gets to watch their team get sent back home with an L. And Mr. BB, if you're still here, you're going to be in the house at AT&T this Thanksgiving. Hopefully we get the win. Let's see. Steve said in 1989, I didn't want to tank when football games get better. That's right. You got to win games. It's a mentality. You got to show up. You got to play. These coaches are playing for jobs. Like Sam said in the news, these players are playing for jobs, regardless who they play for next year, whether it be with us. I've got a score for this game. I had been saying up to this point, they're going to be there for sure. All right. If the BBs are in the house, we got a shot, guys. We got a shot. We got a chance.
Woo.
So I had been saying leading up to this, from now on, every team over 30, us under 14. That's what it's going to look like. So because my team showed up for me this last week, and because it's the New York Giants, and I think they are actually team tank now, putting DeVito at number 1, and then we don't know if even DeVito's going to play. They're definitely going to get whooped. So I'm going to put us over 30, them under 14. That's my line. Let's go. We're going to have a great game. We're going to show out for Thanksgiving. Jerry's going to have something to be proud of. He's going to have a lot to say after the game. If I had to put an exact score, I'll go 37-9. I don't even think they get in the end zone.
Not a 40 burger.
Where 37 points are gonna come from all of a sudden.
This is the game I think Sam's been asking the defense to get some turnovers, do something, get us that spectacular. I see the defense scoring 6 on this game, getting us an extra touchdown that maybe the offense can't. Like I said, DeVito was going to be horrible. It may not even be DeVito.
Is it Drew Lock?
I mean, you're saying names that I'm still. It's just gonna get worse and worse. So
I didn't know who there's. I couldn't remember.
Our defense is going to want to show up with some pride, and we kind of seen inklings to it, right? Because the last few games against Philly didn't walk off on us until the second half. Houston didn't walk off on us until the fourth quarter. Again and against Washington, defense kept us close until the offense could finally put something together, and then we got ourselves a lead for the first time in a half of a football game all season. Couldn't believe it. So I think the defense shows up again, puts together another good game. Offense with Brandon Cooks back, it looks like, is going to maybe have a little more explosiveness. I think the offensive line found some run game there. Somebody did say it will be a better defense than Washington, but a defense who's going to quit in the second half because their offense is going to offer them nothing.
Good stuff, guys.
Yeah, very good. This makes me excited.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's start a winning streak.
Yep. I'm excited to feast on food and feast on another win.
Yeah, I feel like I need to go start cooking now.
I can't wait. But I'm not going to eat myself into a coma before I watch some football. Then after that, I'm down.
So I got to ask.
Sorry, I got to ask. Everybody in the comments, Sam, Landry, Sam, ladies first, what's your favorite Thanksgiving dish?
Oh, God, that's hard. I'm such a foodie. I love it all. I'm going to be probably the weird one. I'm going to go basic. So I freaking love the heck out of turkey. Like, I know you can eat it every day of the year, but that turkey with some turkey gravy, oh my God, I could eat that.
That's interesting. That's interesting because a lot of people that I know would say that turkey's not nearly, at the top of the list.
Love it. Turkey is one of my favorite meats altogether. I mean, I love meat in general, but turkey is.
So Steve's favorite is throwback jerseys. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think he was talking about the food. Falcons is the green bean casserole. Landry, what's your favorite dish?
Stuffing all day, every day. You could just make a huge pan of stuffing, and I'd be pretty good. Not too much else I'd be missing. I love green beans. I love mashed potatoes. I enjoy the turkey, but pretty much just stuffing.
What about you, Jimmy?
Well, you guys can tell from the cheeks, I'm a sugar guy. So I got to have me some buttermilk pie. My wife makes it. I don't know if you've had buttermilk pie. That might sound
Never
like a
even
weird
heard
thing.
of it.
That's right. I was just going to say people across the United States right now are going buttermilk pie. That sounds disgusting. You're just going to pour some buttermilk over my good pie. No. It's not what you think. It comes with some lemon zest, some vanilla. It comes with my wife's tender love and care. And it's the best thing you can eat on Thanksgiving. I'm going to tell you right now. And usually we do a turkey and 2 chickens. We save the ham for Christmas because ham is delicious. Love a good ham. That's what we do for Christmas. So good show, guys.
Oh.
Comment section.
Thanks
for being with us.
Blink twice if you're okay, Jimmy. Okay. Anyways, have a great night, guys.
Like, subscribe, notifications. We're out.
Very funny, Falcon. All right. Thanks.
Wait, guys.
Hold on. Sorry. I'm going to blow somebody's eardrums. One of y'all, Samantha, you go ahead. You got to tell them to remember to always, always, always
ban responsibly.
I'm a fan of the Star. The Star we are.
What's up, everybody? I'm Super Cowboy.
And I'm Princess Angie, and you are tuned in to The Star We Are.
Hi, this is Jane Slater, and you are listening to The Star We Are.
Plugged in and switched on. This is The Star We Are, live.